Alright, gentlemen, we had a little difficulty getting through all of the notes today. Now, the notes we did, while not hard, I erased through some things at the very end. So I want to go through a couple things with you. If you go to the dashboard and check out modules and syllabus, so notice I click module, bear with me as we scroll down here. Okay. Under Introductory to Conceptual Physics, I do have a YouTube channel here. This link to the YouTube channel will take you to Intro to Physics, and it gives you this video that we watched in class and this crash course chemistry. I know it says for chemistry, but it covers a lot of things we actually will be doing in physics. It's a very worthwhile video. I may end up making it an assignment at some point, but if you're stuck, then that should help you out. Now, I gave you a math packet, and I noticed as you walked out, some of you look like you picked up Mr. Tita's packet, which is all about graphing. We haven't done graphing. We haven't talked about graphing. So the math packet, if you can't find it, is here as well. Hang on, under modules. But you must do a printed copy. Alright, so under, again, Unit 1, we have where is it? Physics, Math, Practice Packet, page 1 and 2. So I'll be checking for completion, but that is here. And there is a link here. But you must print it and do it by hand. So I'll open that for you in a sec. Real quick on the notes. So the things we talked about, scientific notation, theoretically, I did this one wrong. I'm going to show you a little bit more. If you don't want to round, if you want all these significant figures, then it would be 4.8 times, nope. Did it wrong again, my bad. Okay. It should read, patience with me please, I did not teach this last year. 4.832101 times 10 to the 8th. Why is it 10 to the 8th? So we need to reduce some of these notes a little bit. It's 10 to the 8th. This tells me how many decimal places. Something moved. Okay, so if we move the decimal place this way, it's going to be positive. All right, because this is like 10 to the 8th, which is a huge number. Times 4.8, Okay, now if you have another situation where it's 4.8 times 10 to the negative something, then you know it's a really small number. So I'll review that on the homework. Okay, we talked about adding and subtracting. So we kind of jumped around. That was my bad there. I forgot we needed to add and subtract first. So if we go back to this is what we're talking when it comes to adding and subtracting. So if you have something with a lot of significant figures, so I'm going to do some more examples here. So, examples. If you add, say, 4.3 plus 6.323, that's supposed to be 3. If you're adding those things, you would still line it up, but it says the lowest number of decimal places. So the most amount of decimal places you can have in your answer is 1 decimal place. Okay? So you're going to have to figure this out. Theoretically, it would be 353.10, correct? Now, for accuracy's sake, there was only 1 decimal place when we added, so the best you can do is 10 point, you got to think about your rounding here, 10.6. Why did I round? I rounded up because the last number here was a 5. So you need to look at your list and pick the figure out what has the shortest amount of decimals and go by that way. Now, if you're multiplying and dividing, this is going to be a little bit different. So if I say 2.3 times 3.34, all right? The rule is fewest significant figures. Okay. Well, in this case, the fewest significant figures, this has 2, this has 3. Okay, so whatever your final answer is, it will only have 2 significant figures. Right. So I would say I would accept doing calculator on these. So don't hesitate to pull out your calculator on this unless you want to do it by hand. But I will always allow you to use your calculator. So if we pull that out, that's going to be 7.682. 7.682. Well, you realize you can only have 2 significant figures. You see this is above the number 5, so you're going to have to round this number up. So your final answer is 7.7. Alright, so let's pull up that worksheet and let's try a couple of them. Alright, give me a minute. Let me find the Word document. Nope. Not helpful for you. Okay. Newsletter. Physics math practice. Here we go. Okay. So we're looking at this math practice here. We have, let's practice with this one. Pens. Just going to draw in here. This one has a decimal place. So using the Atlantic Pacific rule, we start swimming this direction because the decimal is present, and we count in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 significant figures. Alright. In all of these, except for 1, the decimal is present. So all of them, you're counting this direction. This one, you're counting the Atlantic way. Okay? Going from the Atlantic Ocean to the shore because the decimal is absent. A for absent, P for present. And then think about the directions that you would be swimming to get to shore. Alright? So the significant figures here, counting in the P direction, the direction of the Pacific to land, would be 1, 2, 3. 3 significant figures. Well, theoretically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So since it has a decimal point, I'm going to assume this answer is 6. Alright. I'll have to get back to you on this. I have a hunch that I'm explaining that one wrong. So again, these I might be mistaken on here. Alright, then we have some adding and subtracting. Okay. If you look, we said adding and subtracting, the rules are, I'll go back and check our notes here, just so that way I don't mess you up while I'm working with this. Okay, adding and subtracting is the lowest number of decimal places. So going back to the other work. Okay, so if I look here, the lowest number of decimal places is here. So you can have no more than 1 decimal place when you add these things. So if you pull out your calculator, because it's a lot of crazy numbers, that's fine, you would add 23.5732 plus 4.08 minus 245.21 plus 75.6. The result is 141.95. This gets a little bit tricky since you're going to end up having to round. The real answer would be negative 1, 4, 2, 0. Okay? Because the real number that came out in the calculator was negative 141.9568. Right? So you kind of got to deal with that. All right, so there's that example. Here, this is the lowest number of significant figures. So if we count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one has 6. 1, 2, 3 has 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 significant figures is all you can go to with these rules. It said the lowest significant figures when dividing and multiplying. So again, I wouldn't begrudge you if you pull out your calculator. Okay, 23.5732 times 4.08, divided by 245, these numbers are crazy, 0.21. Very little number, okay? So originally you get the number 0.3922297459. Well, it says you can only have 3 significant figures because it's the lowest number of significant figures, and this is for accuracy. If you're measuring different things, you can only use the least accurate number. All right, so 4.08, if that's a measurement, that's your least accurate measurement. You can't adjust the other two to your least accurate. So with 3 significant figures, you have 392. That's it. You can't round here. I mean, you round down to 2. Okay, so that should give you your examples here. Other ones, scientific notation. I'll do this one. This one, move your decimal place. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 places in this direction. 1.76 times 10 to the 4th. Okay. I'll do this one because it's a negative and a decimal place. Okay, because we're moving in this direction, we're going to have a negative exponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 to the negative 4th, and it would be 1.30 because there's 3 significant figures there. Okay, again, you reverse it over here. Alright, so this would be, move your decimal place 2 places this direction. Okay, so 0.0496. Beautiful. And this is kind of a trick question here, so play with that. Alright, here you have to correct the incorrect scientific notation. So obviously we'll go with this one. Alright, there's just a 1 here. Times 1. But there's a 1 here. It has to be times 10. And the decimal place isn't here. So the decimal place needs to be 8.516. And then you have to think about what is that being multiplied by? How many places did you move? So if this is 10, you're going to have to do some math. Oh, times 1. If this is the original number, you want times 10 to the 1, 2. 10 to the 2nd. Alright? Okay. I think I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully those examples helped you. After you check this video, then feel free to ask me for help. Hope this helped. Bye, guys.